the tunes.
LCD screen for brushless controller. My channel is dying. I was averaging 30 to 50 views. Now I'm down to like 14 or something. Don't really make All right. We have a video here brought to you by Redacted. Please like, subscribe, and share to Redacted. Tell them Larry James 965 sent you. The title of the video is In 55 Days, Everything Will Change for the US Dollar. This video is used for fair use, entertainment, and educational purposes only. Thank you.
What a week. Holy smokes. Soon you'll be able to tell your kids about how the United States dollar was once the strongest currency in the world, and you were there to watch it all fall into ruin in the spring of 2023.
Are warning the collapse of another American bank could lead to a credit crunch and an economic slowdown.
As banks collapsed all around you, and how you had to pull your money out of your local banks and put it into gold and silver and real estate just to protect your family. How the president of Ukraine just met yesterday with BlackRock. Yes, the largest asset manager in the world. as this war has helped them add $9 trillion to their balance sheets. Yeah, BlackRock now owns over 30% of Ukraine. You don't think this was all planned? What a clown world we are living in. This weekend, gold hit a brand new record high as people freak out about government currencies, which are, of course, tanking. And this week, we entered the most dangerous period yet, with economists saying this could be worse than the Great Depression or the financial crisis of 2008.
Inflation is going to get worse, and so is the current financial crisis. And nobody wants to admit we're in a financial crisis. It is worse than the one we had in 2008. It's just getting started.
Friday was a bloodbath for the US dollar, and we're going to get into all of the latest important news that you need to know about just in a minute here. But first, you'll also be able to tell your kids that you were there when they took away the paper dollar and coins in favor of a US digital currency. And you'd be correct, because 50 days from now, the United States dollar changes forever. That's right, in July. And just 3 weeks ago, the US Federal Reserve started the process, the rollout of this new central bank digital US dollar. The full rollout happens in July. So guess what? On July 4th, on Independence Day, we can celebrate losing our freedom. This is not hyperbole. Your freedom to use cash the way you want to is going to change forever, just like what Europe did a few weeks ago, making it illegal to spend cash over $1,000 or 1,000 euros. You can't use 1,000 euros to pay cash. Maybe you want to get some trees removed in your yard and you want to pay the gardener to do that. You can't pay him in cash anymore. Can you imagine? Think that's fake news? Here's the head of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, explaining it.
No, the problem is they don't want to be controlled. They don't want to.
Yeah, but you know what? Now we have in Europe this threshold above 1,000 euros. You cannot pay cash. If you do, you are on the gray market. So you take your risk. You get caught, you are fined, or you go in jail.
So no biggie. You can't spend your own money without the government tracking you, and you can go to jail for it. In the United States, it's called the Fed Now program, and it'll replace paper currency, which this week became even more worthless. It'll move the United States to a cashless society, a total surveillance state where every transaction will be tracked. Whereas the Fed describes it, money that's in your account could even expire and become unusable. Just like that Olive Garden gift card that you got that one time that you never used. One day you go to buy some bottomless breadsticks and pasta and the gift card won't work. Expired. Where'd that money go? It's gone. You can read how the Fed actually plans to use expiring money right on the Fed's website. China's already doing it. And the World Economic Forum billionaires have repeatedly said they want to model the banking system and the surveillance state after what China is doing.
So we have to define how the world should look like, which we want to come out of this transformation period. I respect China's achievements, which are tremendous over the last over 40 years.
Morning, Sly. Good to see you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, Larry.
That didn't sound too exciting.
You just said, look, did you hear yours twice? Did you hear you twice?
Did I hear my wife?
Oh my God. Wait, Larry.
I'm right
Wait.
here.
Wait.
What?
Wait. All right. Is it better?
There we go.
Okay. So now I know what the problem be. So if I go on my phone, right, I'll click on in YouTube, but I still got to go back on my phone and close YouTube for me not to get the echo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How you doing, girl? Missing you.
I know. That's why I'm here.
My little sly fix.
Huh?
I said, you're here to give me my little shy fix?
I'm having my sandwich. I strained my groin on the left side. Couldn't walk for 2 days,
Oh,
3 days. Couldn't walk for 3 days.
that's no good. You got to stop that, girl.
Yeah. I know what I did to cause it. So that won't be happening anymore. Get your mind out the gutter, Larry. Get your mind out the gutter, okay?
Uh, I was going to say that's a good thing if it won't happen again.
Oh yeah. I thought maybe you was in the gutter though.
Oh, no.
But I mean it's okay to be in the gutter. Oh, ain't
especially
you
with
mean?
especially with my title, Dirty Larry, right?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. See, good minds, great minds think alike, Larry.
Yeah.
Yo, I've been
So
chilling. Huh?
I was for the last 6 months. I've been averaging 30 to 50 views, and now all of a sudden I'm like 10 for the last week.
Well, don't let that get you down, Larry. You know
No, I'm
why?
just saying. I'm trying to figure out if I'm doing something wrong or whatever. If it's just a period, you know?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
All right, so let me finish, please.
All right.
All right, because I know you. I keep telling you, you have to do stuff to get people here, right? You have to show stuff to get people here. You have to show stuff that would talk about stuff that, you know, to get people here. Most of the circle that knows you followed a different broadcast. You know what I mean? You might have watched one and found something interesting. You know what I mean? And that helps get the community here. Because if you are a part of the community, the public really don't know you.
Right.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Oh, yeah.
So if like even not the drama, because everybody don't have to do the drama all the time, right? But
Right.
if something went on and like me, I don't have a problem with talking about what I watched on another broadcast. It's not gossiping, right?
Right.
Because I was just watching Talcott's last night's broadcast, and the first hour of it, like, nothing but fire coming from Paul, and they tried to control Paul's behavior or the way he spoke, and that's kind of how I feel. Like when I go on these panels, like you can't, how do you tell somebody how they can respond, what opinion they should have, how they should agree or disagree, or you know what I mean, what tone. You can't do that to people, you know what I mean? Because if I'm not doing anything wrong, how are you correcting my behavior? Right?
Right.
Just because I overtalk you, that's not doing anything like to harm you.
Correct.
So why would you know what I mean? Why would you try to correct me and then do it in front of people like, like I'm some kind of child?
Yeah.
I just don't see that. And I felt what Paul was saying. Like, if you watch the broadcast, that's shit to talk about, because people can't tell you, grown folks can't tell me how I should be.
Right.
Even if I get triggered, you can't tell me, oh, you shouldn't be triggered. If I fucking get triggered, that's my feeling.
Right.
Let me get triggered, get over it, and we move on.
Exactly.
Because that's what y'all do. Y'all
Right.
trigger each other, argue, cuss each other out, and then y'all move on. And people come back to the broadcast or panels or whatever the next day. So that's what we do, right? So, and this is why I just don't feel good about engaging anymore, because like I went in Benton's chat and me and somebody was having a conversation, and he decided to pick one of my comments out and commented on it and then say he don't care. And I'm like, yo, I wasn't even talking to you or about you. You know what I mean? And I said, well, this is why I don't like to engage, because they don't like to read the comment. I mean, they don't know the premise or who I'm talking to or anything before they just read the comments. You know what I mean? Then they be like, I don't know who you talking to, shy, but you know, I mean, like stuff like that. You know, I just don't understand. Like, leave me the fuck alone. If I don't harm you or don't come in your shit being disrespectful, don't bother me.
Exactly.
If you can't be kind, friendly, I mean, just don't bother me, because I won't fuck with you.
Yeah, I didn't get on YouTube at all yesterday. Not once.
Guess what I did yesterday? I watched Hulu that I paid for.
Finally decided to use it, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we watched a couple movies and then some other stuff. But yeah, I didn't go on YouTube at all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel kind of like left in the dark.
No. See, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. So my first comment when I said, don't let it get you down, I was right, wasn't I?
No, it wasn't getting
Oh,
me.
come on, man. Come on, admit it. Stop playing with me. Admit it.
Nah.
Admit it. Stop playing with me, Larry.
I want to say good morning to Moose. Hey, Moose, how you doing? Good to see you, brother.
Good morning.
You know, in some ways it does kind of bother me. In other ways,
stop. Nah, come on with the bunch of bullshit. All that the bullshit. I mean, all that the butt is bullshit, Larry. Okay, I know when you, and especially when you don't reach out to me. I know you know what I mean. I know. I already fucking know. I know why you keep. I don't know why you be trying to play with me, Larry. I don't know.
No, really.
Huh?
I said I'm not, though, really.
No, you're not. But you be, you know, when I hit the nail on the head, and you be like, you know, Larry explaining, I be like, you know what I mean? Because that's what you do. You'll start Larry explaining, and I'll be like, nah, come on, man. I know when you get in a little dark place, because you just said it. People not showing up.
So much.
People not showing up. I had 50, now I've only got 10. You know what I mean?
I love you.
Come on, get right with Sly. That's what you want. That's all. That's what you asked for. Shit. God damn it. Let me eat my sandwich. I did not come up here. I did not come up here to be doing therapy with your ass. They was trying to do therapy with. See, this is why I watch the broadcasts and the shows and shit, right? They was trying to do therapy on Paul.
Oh, is that right? That's funny.
Yes.
Was it Alcott trying to do therapy?
Jack and Jack's friend Aaron.
Oh yeah.
Do you know the spirit, the I don't know what he is, right? But anyway, him. This is not gossiping. All right, y'all make sure y'all know that this is not gossiping.
This is just what you see and thought, right?
This is what I saw, not thought. This is what I saw. I saw them trying to do therapy on Paul, and I was like, I was cracking up. I'm like, what the? Are y'all really trying to tell this man that does everything he says he does? You can see it, you can hear it, right? And you trying to change his. I want to calm Paul down. I want him to get feelings from the sun. And I'm like, yo, if y'all leave that boy alone, I mean, grown ass man alone. I said, see, this is why I can't go up on their panels, man. I am too opinionated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, but people will try to make it out to be, you know. Oh yeah. She's trying to start drama. She's gossiping. You know what I mean? Nah, I just laugh at what I see. Moosey Moose, am I right? Oh, fuck. So Larry,
Yes, ma'am.
you don't let it get you down, man. Right?
That you just, you know, you do what you do, and that's why I love you so much, is because you just give it to me hard, you give it to me fast, and you give it to me straight.
I give you tough love. That's what I'm supposed to do as a friend.
And
I'm
Moose
not
says,
gonna,
I hear you, girl.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. You know what I mean? I'm going to, because I did. I said it. I know the tone of your voice, right?
Oh, God, I love you so
So
much.
you can't bullshit me, right?
That's correct. So did you hear I said, Moose says, I hear you, girl?
Yes, sir. I heard him.
All
Heard
right.
you. But Moosey, I missed you too, man.
These dogs are wanting out, and it's too damn early. I'm getting this look like, Dad, my paws are crossed, my
Wait,
my my ears
is,
are crossed.
is it getting lighter
Well,
earlier?
it's 5:30, and it's still pretty dark out.
Oh well, at 5:30 here, the damn light was coming up. The sun or the moon or what the fuck? I don't know what was in the sky to make it light, but it was getting light at 5:30.
Maybe that was just your inner soul shining through and lighting up the universe.
So are you saying that I am adhere with the sun, Larry?
You and the sun are one and the same.
I wish Talcott can hear that.
Oh, that was good.
Yo, because he was talking about, I left comments, right? And timestamps. Because he was talking about, Paul, you have a problem with being teachable and learning and this, that, and the other. And I was like, wait a minute, does he have a mirror and sitting it? Does he Moose?
What's
Does
up?
Talcott have the fireplace mirror sitting in front of him?
The fireplace mirror? I don't know, man. I never been there.
The way he was talking to Paul last night, right? It made me think that he might have just was reflecting on the Paul, what he might see in himself. I'm just saying.
I don't know what. Well, I had to like 2 hours in. I went to sleep because I was just like, man, we're not getting nowhere.
You
Well,
are,
man, dude, I only get 6 hours of sleep a night, if that. So
yeah.
I'm like, I can't be staying up all night for this bullshit.
All right, well, listen, you got to get my age because my age, right? We only get 5 to 6 hours, okay? So you work your ass off, do what you got to do, save you enough money or whatever. I'm just saying, when you get my age, your ass is only going to need 5 or 6 hours. I've been up since
I know.
3:30. I was in the,
Ain't that some shit,
I
right?
was,
It's like I'm out here hustling, and I'm like, I ain't got enough energy. I gotta sleep more. And you're like, nah, man, just get older, Mike. Get older.
I'm
So,
not lying.
Larry, I'm gonna give you a number one broadcasting tip. Nobody, nobody, nobody wants to watch other people's videos. When they come here for Larry. They don't come here to watch some other dude. They don't come here to watch the news. They come here to watch Larry. And so when you play those other clips and stuff, it's not that it's a terrible thing, or it's not that, like, it's not good content or whatever, but it's like when we restream on Jack's panel, he doesn't get, he gets 3 views in the restream. People don't want to see the restream. They want to see the stream. They want to be part of the action. They want to be part of, like, jumping in and having dialogue with Larry, and like being able to be in the crowd and poke some fun and say this or that and then have Larry say something back. Like, that's what people really want to do. And I think that you've been following other people's path a little bit, and like playing the videos and stuff, and I think it's detrimental to your channel because people don't come here for other people. They come here for you.
Well, I appreciate that in more than one way, and I'll definitely go
Larry,
for.
I'm sorry. I'm Larry, I'm not poking at you, right? But this is one of those fucking moments that your damn ass should be crying. That's all I'm saying, Larry.
I love you. Bye.
Hey, Moose, I appreciate that. I really appreciate you saying that to him. Really. You know what I mean? Because I've been trying to, we've been trying to tell him for the past few months. It's breaking news. You still, even if you're watching the news or something, make your breaking news funny or say something dumb. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Larry?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Moose.
Moose done left me.
Oh, you know we all love you, girl. At least your true friends love you, that not these fake fucking assholes.
Yo, even on Facebook, right? So, I was just cracking fun at how I used to be so popular and everybody wanted me at their parties, right?
Yeah.
This past weekend we had Black Pride. We had Black Pride in Philly. So usually I get everybody telling me what's going on. This time I ain't really know too much about what was going on. Excuse me. So I said something. So I said, well, maybe I'm not that important to be supporting anymore. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe it's time for me to let go. So the guy that throws the parties said, "Oh, she did a whole comment on it." Like, yo, did you really take that personal? Right? You know what I mean? My team does this and my team does that. And I'm like, yo, was you the only one that gave parties that weekend? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, like, don't try to blast me in front of everybody. I don't play that shit. He could have said that in private. Because when
Right.
he wanted me to come to his private party, he sent it to me in private. Right?
Right.
So how come when you having your big, I'm support you all these years, you have your big party, you forget me. Right? Okay. So Noli D, oh my God. Noli D said, Sly, I'll have a party for you. We'll have a party for your ass every day because you deserve it. I was like, yes. You might not know Noli D, but maybe you should check her out on Facebook. She's an artist and
Oh, yeah.
supports Taya. Taya does the I forget what Taya's channel is. I'll send it to you when I find it. But yeah, I've been knowing Noli D for a long time, so
Yeah, I never heard that name.
I know. Like I said, yo, you guys don't know. Like I said, I before I met y'all, I was already in the YouTube streets. Deep.
Oh yeah.
Deep. I'm not as long as Monel though. Monel, that she was Monel was a teenager. She was in the YouTube streets. Look, Monel before YouTube got what the fuck? Oh, before YouTube got ready to be YouTube, Monel was in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on YouTube for a while, but I didn't participate until recently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She she looked like she been participating for a while.
Oh yeah. You can
Yeah,
tell.
yeah. She's members. She's a member to a lot of these channels. You hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right, come on now. I done came up here. You gotta be a little more interesting. I can't run your show for you.
Well, damn. I thought that's what I pay you for. She's like,
Come
wait
on, stop with
a
those
minute.
things. Stop telling people you pay me, Larry. Damn, just like I tell Moose, man. Stop telling our business. The
Oh,
fuck?
uh, oh shit! I got a stranger in my stream here. Dubs finally decided he wanted to
Oh my God, here you go. Here you go.
show his
Here
damn
here
ass
you
up here.
go.
You know, he's such a
Larry,
piece of shit.
Larry, Larry.
Uh,
You're starting to sound like Talcott when Moose don't answer emails.
I'm giving him some shit. He knows.
Duh. You're starting to sound like Talcott when Moose don't answer his emails.
I'll have to reassess that.
Look, people don't show up. Sometimes they, you know what I mean? It's okay. Don't
Oh,
be
I
beating
know.
us
He
at.
knows.
Don't be beating us. I don't care. Don't be putting that little guilt thing in our minds, though, right? Beating us with the bat when we come to the door. Asking, can we come in? You be like, why this shit keep going off? As soon as we come to the damn door, trying to get back in, you be like beating us with the bat first. Why your ass ain't show up for 3 days? Where the hell you been? You know what I mean? The fuck?
Oh, that reminds me. I downloaded something kind of special just for you and for the broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and show it now. I probably really shouldn't, but I can't wait. Okay. What's my saying when you always leave?
Let the door. So you put me out again? The fuck?
No, I just had to show you that.
I know.
Like, dude,
Don't let the
I looked
doorknob hit me. Don't let the doorknob hit me.
something like that. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I went one day, like half the day, searching for a damn door slamming sound. Like,
Uh-huh.
no matter where I went, they wanted me to pay for it. You know, I'm like, this is getting frustrating. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna record my own door.
Right. How about you? Why you don't have buy a sound? Why you don't have a soundboard like with all this stuff in it?
I have a soundboard, but I don't know if you can put other
And
sounds
you
in it.
you can't make one like you can't like record it like from there like make a sound of a door slamming.
Not on this one, no.
Mm. Oh, okay.
And that's why I said I searched like half the day for different sound effects and shit, and everywhere wanted to pay. You know, like one was $500 for a year.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm like I can't afford that shit.
Well, then you don't need it. If you can't afford it, then don't worry. You
That's
don't need
why I
it.
went and recorded my own door. So I'll get this shit for free.
All right. So, all right, you recorded the door. All right. What you got to do is you got to go on the outside of the door and slam it. So we won't. You understand what I'm saying? You got to go to on the outside of the door, then slam it closed. Okay.
And face
Try that.
away from the door or towards the door.
Because the door is hitting me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I'm going out, say because your door is the opposite way. So I'm going out your door and you slam it. So don't let the door hit me. You understand where I'm coming from now?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Not stand on the inside of the door and close it. Go on the outside of it. Why does this keep doing this? The damn timer keep going off. I gotta switch devices, and I need to eat my sandwich. And I love you, but I can't stay long because I've been disabled for the past 3 days, and I have stuff I gotta do.
All right. Well, 30 seconds of Sly is more than good for me.
I love you, Larry, but I'll try to come back though. Okay. Hey, Moosey,
Not
I
a
love
problem.
you, man. Have a
Love you
great
too.
day.
Take care. You also, and a better tomorrow. Oh, wait.
No, wait, I'm not going nowhere. Wait. I wasn't finished, Larry. I'm
All right.
saying I'm saying buy the moose, man. No, don't show that again, Larry. Nope, don't do that again. Fix it first and then do it, okay?
Oh, girl.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. Fix it first. Anyway,
Fine.
Moose. Have a great day, Moose. Whatever you got to do, have a great day. Don't overwork yourself. Don't overstress yourself. And hey, peace. Love you guys.
I appreciate you. I got the baby. I'm putting the baby down for a nap. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's
Girl
okay.
or boy?
I'll see you in the streets later.
Truly bursting.
Truly Bursting is one of Austin Inner with Books friends. He's a really cool dude.
Well, good to see you in the broadcast. You're more than welcome to join in at any time. We're just kind of kicking back. I'm kind of cracking slacking over here, trying to get some piss and vinegar going, but not doing too well. All right. Well, I'm going to be on the side for a second. I got to let the dogs out. It's nasty out there. Cold and wet and rainy. Dab nabbit. So, how are you doing today, Truly? You got anything on your agenda, your schedule, plans for the day? I know Moose said not to do it, but I'm going to get another video going here. Well, that sounds like a good task. How many hens do you got? All right. So this video is called U.S. Marine Steals Military Helicopter to Save U.S. City from Sniper, but then faces a court martial. This video is brought to you by Maximus Aviation. Go please like, subscribe, and share. Tell them Larry James 965 sent you. Oh, wait, damn it. And this video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use. Thank you.
Good evening. For 2 days, a Howard Johnson's hotel in downtown New Orleans has been the scene of a search for a sniper.
Greetings, everybody. Maximus here. Before we start, I want to say up front that the reign of terror sniper Mark Essex inflicted on New Orleans in 1973 lasted 7 days, and it would take 7 days to tell the entire nightmarish story. So I would urge all of you to research the incident because it is a riveting story filled with heroes, both first responders and civilians alike. But since this is an aviation channel, we're going to focus on one hero who helped all the other heroes that fateful day. So with that said, here is the remarkable true story of a true American warrior, hero, and legend, the late great Lieutenant Colonel Charles Pittman. This is Mark Essex. He was a 5'4" Navy vet who had been kicked out due to behavioral issues. He eventually ended up in New Orleans, where he fell in with radical extremist groups, mainly of which was the Black Panther Party. Essex had grown angrier over time with what he perceived as injustices he faced in the Navy and now as a civilian. But it was after learning of a civil rights protest in which 2 students from Southern University were killed by police, Essex completely lost his mind and vowed revenge. So before he began his week-long rampage, he wrote a letter to the local news station telling them that he was going to start killing police and white people. And that's exactly what he did. Late on the New Year's Eve before 1973, Equipped with a Ruger 44 caliber semi-automatic rifle, a 38 caliber revolver, a ton of ammunition, a gas mask, wire cutters, lighter fluid, matches, and a string of firecrackers, Mark Essex went to the New Orleans Police Headquarters, where he shot and killed an African-American cadet, shooting him in the back. His killing only white people threat only applied to civilians. He wanted to kill all cops, no matter their race. After his police station attack, he fled and broke into a warehouse. When police arrived, unaware that Essex was linked to the police headquarters shooting, Essex ambushed the arriving officers, mortally wounding one as the other officer dove for cover and called for backup. But by the time backup arrived, Essex had vanished into the night. After continuing his crime spree and being hunted by police for 7 days, he stole a car on January 7th, which was promptly reported to police. But while they were searching for Essex, he reappeared in downtown New Orleans and entered a Howard Johnson's hotel across the street from City Hall and the then under construction New Orleans Superdome. As he made his way to the roof of the hotel, he left a trail of carnage in his wake as he murdered a white newlywed couple and the hotel's manager and assistant manager. However, he allowed the African-American staff to leave unharmed, telling them, "Don't worry, my sisters, I'm only killing white people today." Essex then set fires in several rooms and made his way to the roof. There on the roof high above the city, Essex had set up an ambush that would become one of America's darkest days. His plan was that the shooting and fires would draw first responders to the scene. Then he would carry out his horrible plan to kill more cops, firemen, and civilians. As police and firefighters arrived, they attempted to enter the hotel. But from his fortified perch, Essex killed 3 police officers and wounded several more. He shot firemen on ladders attempting to fight the fires. He shot ambulance personnel and police and civilians on the ground. He was able to pin down anyone that attempted to move toward the hotel and was completely concealed from return fire by concrete bunkers above the stairwells and elevator shafts on the roof, so that police were unable to penetrate his concrete fortress regardless of their weapons. Before it was all over, Essex shot a total of 21 people, 10 of whom died, 6 of which were police officers and 4 civilians. But much like today, when mass shootings and crimes occur in the U.S., they are broadcast live on TV. And it was no different on January 7, 1973 in New Orleans. As the nation watched in horror, there was one specific television viewer that day that was also about to change law enforcement history forever.
Total Battle. Play now for free.
Marine Corps Lieutenant Charles Chuck Pittman had been watching the drama at the Howard Johnson's unfold on TV all afternoon. Pittman was a helicopter pilot and the commander of the Marine Air Unit stationed across the Mississippi River, just south of New Orleans near the town of Belle Chase. Pittman was still recovering from a .50 caliber gunshot wound he took in the leg in Vietnam, where he had flown 1,200 combat missions and been shot down 7 times, and yet still he kept going back for more. The 38-year-old Pittman had flown every plane and jet in the U.S. military. Pittman also earned numerous medals including Silver Stars for Valor, Distinguished Flying Crosses, and a Purple Heart. In the past, Pittman and the U.S. Coast Guard commander had recently worked out a deal to assist local police and fire with rescue efforts in the case of a high-rise fire. Pittman had seen on TV that there was a lot of gunfire in and around the downtown Howard Johnsons, so he sent 2 Marine sergeants armed with M14 rifles to fly with the Coast Guard to assist at the Howard Johnsons. Their mission would be to protect the Coast Guard helicopter, Pittman said. But as the afternoon wore on, Pittman grew more anxious because he had heard nothing back from the Coast Guard. He said, "I kept waiting to see the Coast Guard on TV, but they never showed up." By late afternoon, his 2 sergeants returned. An angry Pittman asked the sergeants what the Coast Guard's plans were. But one of his Marine sergeants replied, "They say they can't fly. The weather is too bad." By now, Pittman's sergeants knew that look, and Pittman wore it on his face like a hockey mask. Pittman glanced outside. It was getting dark and the airfield was completely blanketed by fog. Visibility was almost zero. As the room fell still, his men knew their leader, and they were waiting for it. Then like a bolt of lightning, there it was. "Bullshit," Pittman barked. "The weather's not too bad for me. I can fly up the river." So Pittman ordered his operations officer to call the New Orleans Police Department and offer the Marines assistance. An hour later, the New Orleans police returned the call. They told Pittman, "If you've got a searchlight, come on down." But there was a problem. A big problem for Pittman. What he was considering doing was completely against military regulations, and it would surely get him court-martialed and banished from the Marines, tarnishing his stellar career. But Pittman didn't become a warrior by asking for permission. So he figured he'd roll the dice and ask for forgiveness later. If he even survived the mission, that is. The visibility was so bad that Pittman couldn't fly directly to New Orleans. He had to fly a different approach. Hovering just a few feet above the deck, Pittman took his twin-rotor H-46 C-9 helicopter out over the Mississippi River and turned left. Pittman said, "We were looking up at some of the ship's lights in the channel. That's how low we were," he said. The Greater New Orleans Bridge, which crosses the Mississippi River, was buried in fog. When we approached it, Pittman said he saw car lights crossing above him. He marveled how he missed the high-tension wires near the bridge that he didn't.
I got to be in a helicopter one time, but the funny part of this story is I don't remember it because I was, I guess, pronounced dead when I was in the helicopter at 16 years old. Another interesting story to be told another day, another time, another broadcast.
Didn't even know were there. But Pittman made a right-hand turn down the bridge and followed the freeway into downtown. He landed the H-46 C-9 in a parking lot between the still under construction new Superdome and City Hall. While Pittman's crew consisted of a co-pilot and 2 sergeants with M14 stayed behind in the chopper, New Orleans police drove Pittman to Loyola Avenue, where the police chief had his command post set up in the lobby of the Howard Johnsons. Police cars were everywhere. Gunshots and bullets were whizzing up and down the street. Pittman said that fire trucks were still there spraying water on the fire, but all the firemen were hunkered down inside buildings just trying to stay alive. The New Orleans police officer driving the car carrying Pittman pointed to another police car parked a few blocks down the street in front of the hotel. The officer asked Pittman, "Do you see that car down there, down the next block, the car with the door open?" "Yes," Pittman replied, taking a beat. "There's a radio in that car," the officer said. "You can use it to reach the chief." "Wait a minute," Pittman said. "You want me to walk down that street with bullets whizzing everywhere while the entire New Orleans police force are hiding behind cover to get to the only car with a radio?" The policeman nodded. "Yep." Then Pittman glanced down at his green military flight suit, knowing full well he'd make the perfect target for Essex. Still, although I'm sure he preferred to run, Pittman, being the battle-scarred veteran that he is, decided to simply calmly walk down the street. Pittman figured running would only draw more attention to himself, so he'd probably catch a bullet for sure. So after what must have felt like one of the longest walks of his life, he finally reached the radio car. He took a seat, keyed the mic, and identified himself as the Marine chopper pilot. The voice at the other end of the radio told Pittman to head to the command post. To which Pittman asked the obvious question, well, where the hell is that? In the hotel, the staticky voice on the other end of the radio replied. Pittman dropped the mic in his lap for a second, glanced around at all the bullets ricocheting off of everything in sight. Pondering his situation, he then keyed the mic again and replied, "You have got to be kidding me." So Pittman, I'm sure with his eyes in the back of his head, simply strolled into the hotel. Since the electricity to the hotel was off, the lobby was dark, lit only by a few blinding emergency lights, with many hotel guests crammed into a corner of the restaurant trying to keep warm. There were a lot of nervous people in there, Pittman said. Chief Russo met Pittman and asked, "So you're the guy with the armored helicopter, right?" Pittman took a beat and told the chief, "Well, it's not really armored." And the police chief asked Pittman, "Well, then what can you do for me then?" But before Pittman could answer, a light bulb went off and Chief Russo had a genius idea. He said, "I know. You could pick up our armored car and put it down on a roof." New Orleans had an old armored personnel carrier that weighed about 14,000 pounds. But Pittman explained that his Sea Knight could only lift about 5,000 pounds. Later in an interview, Pittman joked that even if he could have lifted it, it would have dropped right through the roof and landed in the basement. So again the chief asked, "Well then, what the hell can you do?" Pittman then informed the chief that he could take a crew of police officers above the roof to survey the situation and try and root the bastard out, Pittman said. The chief agreed, and Russo then designated one of his officers as the communications specialist and put out a call for volunteers with any specialized personal weapons to volunteer for a very dangerous mission. So Tom Casey, Frank Burris, and Antoine Sachs stepped forward and signed up for the task. Antoine Sachs, a former Marine himself, had been stationed across Gravier Street on the roof of the Rault Center since early afternoon. From his position on the roof opposite the Howard Johnson's rooftop cubicle situated atop the Gravier Street stairwell, Sachs could hear the sniper Essex cursing at them and the sound of his heavy gunfire. However, a concrete bunker obstructed his view. However, occasionally he could still see Essex flicking out still-lit, smoldering cigarettes. Sachs and Essex were less than 100 yards apart, and Sachs periodically fired rounds in the direction of the concrete bunker where Essex was hiding. At one point, Essex threw a crumpled red and white cigarette pack onto the rooftop, and Sachs responded by shooting the cigarette pack multiple times, causing it to dance around on the roof. It was his way of sending a message to Essex that he wasn't the only sniper downtown that day. After the chief briefed the 4 officers on the mission, the 26-year-old former Marine wasn't happy with the chief's plan. He thought he was volunteering to assault the roof, not just take a helicopter ride. So Sachs asked the chief for permission to jump from the helicopter onto the roof. Chief Russo vigorously shook his head, saying, "No, I'm not going to have any more cops killed today." By this time, it was getting dark, so Pittman led the heavily armed officers to the helicopter. Pittman had his crew remove all the windows to prevent fragments from becoming shrapnel on the side of the helicopter in the event they take incoming fire. He also had the helicopter doors locked in the open position so the officers could have a wide field of vision to shoot the diminutive sniper. Once they got in the air, it was freezing. The cops
I would think that that military helicopter, those windows would be bulletproof. I mean, I don't know if it's a military helicopter that is meant to go into war with things being shot at you, you would think it'd have some kind of protection instead of having to take the time to take a window out? That doesn't make any sense. Really, I don't think. But then again, what do I know?
Cops weren't dressed for the January wind chill in the helicopter. Officer Sachs recalled, "I was so friggin' cold I didn't think I was going to be able to shoot. I was shaking like a leaf," he said. But as soon as Pittman lifted them over the top of the Howard Johnsons, everything changed. "As soon as the crew chief tapped me on the head to tell me to get ready, I felt like he threw a heating blanket on me," Sachs said. "I was ready." On the roof above each stairwell was a corresponding cinder block cubicle. The concrete cubicles, one at each end of the building, were about 20 feet wide and about 10 feet deep. The alcoves were surrounded on three sides by reinforced concrete walls. The open sides along the stairwell doors faced the center of the roof. Reports from policemen in the surrounding buildings put the sniper inside the cubicle above the Gravier Street stairwell. Because of the wind, rain, and low clouds, Pittman had to make his approach from the south. He came in low and hot below the tops of the buildings, then suddenly popped up over the Howard Johnson's roof. Once he was over the gravel roof of the hotel, Pittman fixed his night sun searchlight on the Gravier cubicle, but couldn't see anyone. The police sharpshooters figured Essex was either hiding just inside the stairwell or in one of the two alcoves on either side of the door, so they just opened up fire on all the cubicles with every pass of the helicopter. During several passes over the concrete bunkers, Sachs used his M16 spraying like he was watering the lawn to cut gaps in the concrete wall.
Let me show you an online website that generates automated income from anywhere you have access to the internet. Now, honestly,
although the policeman couldn't find the sniper, Essex sure as hell didn't have any trouble finding them. Each time Pittman pulled away from the hotel, police officers in nearby buildings reported seeing the gunman run out of the cubicle to the middle of the roof and fire at the helicopter. After the first pass, when the cops ran out of ammo, Pittman had to land so they could reload. They made a second flight over the roof about 7:30 p.m., and Essex still had the advantage as he fired at the helicopter as Pittman made his approach. But with every pass, Essex would run back into the concrete bunkers for cover. Meanwhile, the policeman in the back of the helicopter continued to strafe the cubicle Essex was hiding in with thousands of rounds of ammunition. Soon they needed to land again for more ammo. Sachs already had burned through the 1,000 rounds of his own personal ammo he brought with him from his house. As Pittman dropped away from the hotel, the sniper again popped out of his hole and started shooting at them again. It was obvious the helicopter was getting hit, Sachs said. You could feel the strikes. At 8:50 p.m., Pittman lifted off from another ammo reload for a third time. Once reloaded, Sachs and the other officers were ready for another crack at Essex. On the approach to the hotel, the helicopter again continued to take fire. But as they rose above the roof, Essex had once again ran for cover. Now, Pittman hovered just over the rooftop and tried to hold his searchlight steady as the policeman continued to fire into the Gravier Street cubicle. Essex was in the back of the bunker on the right-hand side of the Gravier stairwell. A metal water pipe ran up along the back wall of the alcove. Each time the helicopter passed overhead, this is where Essex's diminutive stature benefited him, because with each pass, Essex shimmied to the top of the pipe and clung there. As they looked down onto the top of the cubicle, the Marines and policemen inside the helicopter couldn't see him. It was almost a perfect hiding spot. As Sachs continued laying a steady stream of lead onto the sniper's bunker, trying to open even bigger holes in the concrete walls, it was then that Sachs noticed that the water pipe at the back of the alcove was shaking. He stopped firing and tapped Officer Tom Casey on the shoulder. When Casey looked over, Sachs shouted above the engines, "He's on the pipe." Casey nodded that he understood, and Sachs said, "Let's put some fire on his ass to try and get him to drop." Sachs fired several rounds into the roof just inside the alcove. He was trying to skip them high along the back wall near the pipe. Finally, one of the shots from the helicopter hit the water pipe and shattered it, sending a torrent of water down on top of the policeman in the stairwell below. But in the cockpit of his helicopter, Pittman soon realized his police gunners figured out the sniper's hiding place. So Pittman slid the big helicopter away from the roof as if he were pulling away again. so that Essex would think he was going around again to make another pass. But this time, Pittman had figured Essex out and decided it was time to end this nightmare once and for all. And he laid a trap for his little mouse. And just like he thought, Essex took the bait. With the pipe under him split open and the helicopter again flying away, and just as every other time before, Essex dropped to the floor of the alcove and picked up his rifle. But this time, when Essex charged out onto the roof to fire another parting shot at the retreating aircraft, just then the blinding searchlight lit him up as clear as day. Because while Essex was looking left as he had done all the times before, this time Pittman doubled back the other way and slid back over the roof and lit it up with his searchlight just as the little rat sniper had run into the middle of the roof. Now, finally the gunman was caught out in the open, 30 feet away from the cubicle with nowhere to run. The sniper now aiming directly at the chopper, Pittman saw a flash and a red-hot ball rocketing towards him. The round slammed into the transmission housing just above the cockpit. Pittman knew the helicopter had been hit, but he didn't know how badly or even how long they could stay in the air. But he held the giant C-Knight steady over the hotel as the policemen in the back adjusted their line of fire. They were only 5 feet off the roof and less than 50 feet from the sniper. Sachs gleefully remembers, "We were looking eyeball to eyeball at him." Now, with a fresh magazine in his M16 and like that ending scene from Jaws, I imagine Sachs saying, and with that, Sachs and every cop within a mile of the hotel opened fire. Sachs said, "I just walked the bullets right into him." When Pittman's night sun finally caught Essex out in the open, the pint-sized one-man army that police had been chasing for a week was finally out in the open and lit up by Pittman's searchlight for every cop in the city to see. Policemen who crouched for hours in open windows and on rooftops all around the Howard Johnson started shooting. Mark Essex's body practically melted beneath the lead storm of police bullets and collapsed onto the roof. His Ruger .44 caliber Magnum carbine lay beside him, broken into pieces by the hail of gunfire. An autopsy would later reveal that Essex had been struck by more than 200 bullets. Eddie Rance, who was perched on a nearby building armed with a .30 caliber carbine and who took part in the volley of shots that finally brought Essex down, said, "The guy was so shot up he had to be picked up with a scooper."
We saw the one individual that came out in the evening about 9:30 to take a shot at us. I saw him firing at us from the deck. We had him as he ran back into the cubicle to escape our gunfire. And we watched him fall on the roof.
And the rest, as they say, is history. But that wasn't the end of the story. At least not for Lieutenant Colonel Pittman. Because when one of the greatest American military warriors returned to base early the next morning, he was facing a court-martial for taking the helicopter, especially for a paramilitary operation, without prior approval. However, as luck would have it, New Orleans-based Representative Edward Herbert, who also just happened to be the chairman of the U.S. House Armed Services Committee, recommended to the Marines that the issue be dropped. Translation? That was an order, not a recommendation. Moon Landrieu, the mayor of New Orleans back then, said without that helicopter and without Pittman's piloting skills, it would have been a lot worse. The city owes him a debt of gratitude. And Antoine Sachs, a former police officer who boarded Pittman's helicopter that day, said, "I always say the true heroes were Chuck and his crew of Marines, undoubtedly." Lieutenant General Charles Chuck Pittman passed away on February 13th, 2020, at the age of 84. His career spanned over 40 years, including 3 combat tours in Vietnam. He was also involved in Operation Eagle Claw, the attempted rescue of the American hostages in Tehran in 1980. He commanded an air wing and was the Deputy Chief of Staff for Marine Corps Aviation. He earned the Silver Star, 4 Distinguished Flying Crosses, a Bronze Star, and a Purple Heart. But for all his achievements in uniform, Pittman is best known for ignoring military protocol and breaking a library of rules and regulations so he could save lives in New Orleans, Louisiana on January 7th, 1973. Godspeed, Lieutenant General and Great American Chuck Pittman. Have you heard this true story before? Please be sure to let me know down below. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell. And remember, leave the rubber on the runway and your troubles on the ground. And I will see
There we go. All right. Well, we've been here a little over an hour. We got a lot of things to do. I think we're going to go ahead and end this broadcast. We'll be here same time, same bat channel. And don't forget to don't let that door hit you in the ass on the way out. No doubt about it. You guys have a great day and a better tomorrow. Take care. Till next time.